love talking about shitty sequels to shitty blockbuster movies. And now we should be synced up perfectly. Okay. Hi, my name's James. So, last night I went to go see Avatar 2, The Way of Water. It was okay. I really liked the first movie. I thought the characters were interesting. I thought the plot was compelling. I liked the concepts and the technology that they had. I liked the game that came out with it. They made a game. It was for the Xbox 360. I liked it a lot. It was fun as hell. Before we get into the second movie, I want to talk about the first.
Avatar 1.
So, the first movie, I thought, was good. I liked the first Avatar movie. Is that such a controversial thing to say? I know it's not the greatest opinion in the world because it was mostly carried by its CGI. Nobody had seen a movie like that before, and so that's why it became the highest grossing movie of all time. But now, every year, we're getting a new movie that is entirely CGI. Ready Player One, when that came out, entirely CGI. Almost every Marvel movie to ever come out has been entirely CGI. If you guys aren't aware, the first movie is about this cripple soldier named Jake Sully. His brother died right before the events of the movie, and they were both Marines. So Jake Sully took over his brother's contract with a company called the RDA. The RDA has basically monopolized a planet called Pandora, and they're using Pandora to mine its natural resources because they've already destroyed Earth with their mining. In order to, I guess, find a diplomatic solution with the natives, they created something called the Avatars. They're a hybrid between the DNA of the natives and the DNA of humans. So the idea is a human has its DNA taken, mixed with a Na'vi, that's what they're called in the movie. And then that avatar is genetically linked to something called a driver. So the idea is you sit in this bed, and then it like moves your consciousness from your human body to your avatar body, and then you can kind of like, you know, you take on their characteristics. So they have this thing in their head, it's like a weird spiritual connection thing to their god. Whatever. You get that, you get the blue skin, you get the big eyes, you get the pointy ears, you get everything about them. Jake Sully takes over his brother's avatar, and then, you know, all sorts of shit happens. He's sent in to the natives' home so that he can learn about their culture and try to move them out of something called the home tree before RDA comes in and bulldozes it, because it's sitting on a huge deposit of something called unobtainium, which is like the most precious resource in the galaxy or some shit. So that's exactly what Jake Sully does. He moves into the place, and then he does the thing. But the thing is, he falls in love with a native girl called Neytiri. Now he has to wrestle with this idea of he's found a new family in the Na'vi, but he also has to stay true to his morals as a Marine. And so it's this sort of like conflicting battle within himself. So eventually, he has to tell everyone in the home tree that he was a spy all along, and he's actually there to move them out. And then, you know, everyone abandons him, and then he does this crazy shit where he like tames this big ass bird reptile thing, and it's, you know, it's a cool scene. And then, you know, they boot out the humans, they kill the bad guy, yada yada yada. That's the first movie. The second movie. Let's talk about it.
Avatar 2, The Way of Making a very mid sequel.
Now, I'm going to give an overview of the plot first, and then I'm going to talk about things that I liked and things that I didn't like. I don't know how to tell you this. The plot of the first movie and the plot of the second movie are basically the same. Jake Sully has a family now. It takes place like 15 years or something after the first movie. So, Jake's family consists of himself, Neytiri, Neteyam, Loak, Tuk. And then he also has 2 adopted kids named Kiri and Spider. I'll talk about Kiri and Spider later, they have their own little segment. I don't. Jake, Neytiri, Neteyam, Loak, Took, Kiri, they all move from their home in the Hallelujah Mountains, I think it was called, into this water world, basically. And this is where they discover light skins.
Sin City was a Mavia.
I'll tell you, it was a fun experience because I saw it with friends. So anyways, Jake, after like losing his adopted kid Spider, which is actually the son of the bad guy, he moves to this entirely new place and he learns their ways and he learns how to hunt and fish and be a warrior on this like fish dragon hybrid thing. I don't know. It's basically the same as the first movie, and the villain is the exact same as the first movie. And I'm not saying, oh, they have the same morals or they have the same ideas or they're from the same platoon. It's the same guy, Colonel Miles Quaritch. That's a stupid ass fucking name. At the end of Avatar 1, the main bad guy, who is this like colonel dude, he gets into a fight with Jake and Neytiri ends up shooting him with 2 arrows, and he dies in his mech. So they explain in the movie that before the battle, he uploaded his memories to a cloud, and then the cloud downloaded it into an avatar body that was basically just him. It's dumb, but we'll get into that later, because that's one of the things that I don't like that I'll talk about. So yeah, the main bad guy from the first movie is back, and he has a mega boner for Jake Sully. He's like, I gotta find this boy Jake Sully. I gotta find him real bad. And it's kind of dumb. They wasted so many resources. They killed off so many men. So many innocents too. There were innocent people on the boat that he commandeered, whatever. We'll get into that. Bad guy has a hard-on for Jake Sully. Jake Sully moves away from the home tree to this place in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the sea, to get away from bad guy. There's a montage of Jake and his family learning the ways of the sea and adopting the sea lifestyle. And you know how it is in the first movie. And then one of Jake's sons, I think it's Loak. Loak ends up befriending this thing called a Tulkun. The big whales in Avatar. Tulkun. I forgot everything about this movie the moment I walked out. Loak ends up befriending and sort of like spiritually bonding with this Tulkun named Payakan. But Payakan is an outcast from the rest of the Tulkun because he's a killer. And basically what that means is in the years past, he led like an attack or some shit on RDA for revenge, because RDA was killing off the Tulkun for this special gland that they have like in their brain that stops the aging process. And the big bad, Miles Quaritch, still a stupid ass name, Cameron, he's like, let's use the ship, we'll use the Tulkun to find Sully. So they use the Tulkun to find Sully. There's a lot of dumb shit in the middle, like, that I don't care about, that I actually kind of forgot. They kill off one of the Tulkun, and the water people are like, this is bad, this is war now, they kill their brothers, let's kill these dudes. And Jake's like, no, it's me they want. But then the guys are like, nah, let's kill them all. So they like amass this army again of like all the village people that are ready to fight. And then they head out to this big ass ship. There's like a huge fight scene and chase scene between the kids, and then Jake has to fight off a bunch of dudes. And then Payakan is there, and he's doing all sorts of dumb shit. Like, okay, so the ship, Payakan, he swam under the ship, launched on top of it, stayed on top of it, and then kind of like wiggled around and fucked shit up on there. It was crazy. Oh right, Avatar 2. So eventually Miles Quaritch just gets Sully to, like come out, because like Jake's kids are kidnapped and cuffed to the side of the ship, and Quaritch has a gun to one of the kids' heads. He's like, you better come out here, Sully, or I swear to God, I'll blow his brains out. I'll do it, I swear, I'll do it. So then Jake comes on, and then some shit happens. I think it was the Payakan scene that happened, where I said he like flopped onto the ship and started fucking shit up, and then everyone's like, fuck yeah, let's fight, and then they all fight. And then one of the kids gets cuffed to the ship again, and so Quaritch again is like, "Do it, Sully. Come over here. I will do it." And so Sully's like, "Okay, yeah, sure, fine. I'll come over here." I forgot when it was. Oh yeah. Oh shit. That's what I forgot about it. Like literally one of the most important parts of this movie. Jake's first son, Neteum, dies. This huge, heavy, impactful scene. But right after that, Colonel Quaritch is like, "I'll kill your daughter too. You already lost one son." And so you get like no time to actually process his death before it cuts right back to the action. So Jake like turns himself in and he cuffs himself, but then Neytiri, you know, is like super over the edge. Hell hath no fury like a mother's rage. So Neytiri starts fucking shit up with Jake, and it's like a Hitman fucking scene. They go Assassin's Creed 3 in this shit, like literally, because Jake has a goddamn tomahawk. I don't know, it was a cool scene. I like the fights. Then Jake and Quaritch are locked in a knife fight, and then they lose their knives, so it turns into a fist fight. Neytiri and Took. Okay, I'm gonna try and read to you the actual name of this character. Took. Her name is Tuktire Tesuli Neytiri. Tuktiri Tesuli Neytiriite. Nickname Took. That is the dumbest name ever! Neytiri and Tuktiri are in the ship and they're trying to find a way out, but the ship is like sinking because so much shit got fucked on it, and there was like explosions and shit, and it's crazy. And then so Loak and Jake are like about to drown after Jake's fight with Quaritch, and Jake's like, "Oh, I can't do it. I'm too weak. I can't breathe." And so Loak is like teaching him the ways that he learned in the beginning, how to breathe and how to, you know, control your heartbeat, slow it down when you're underwater. Neytiri and Took are like stuck in the cafeteria, and then Kiri comes in with her glowing fish and water breathing fish shit, and then she saves Neytiri and Took, and then Loak and Jake just get out, and then Sully then Spider finds his dad, who's like on the verge of drowning, although he should have drowned a while ago. Like, I'm a lifeguard, I know how this shit works. Whatever, Spider's a dipshit and saves his dad, who he knows is an absolute asshole, but it's like, fuck, it's a family bond, because this entire movie is about family. Everything about it is about protecting your family, saving your family, being there for your family. It's fucking annoying. Whatever, so Spider saves his dad so they can set up Avatar 3. The rest of the family has the funeral for Neteum, and then Jake's, at the end of the movie, is like, "I have to go, I can't put your people at risk." The chief of the water people is like, "No, you did the ritual for the deaths. You saw our sacred grounds. You're one of us now." And then Jake's like, "Oh shit, yeah, sure, dap me up, homeboy." And so then he like downloads his memories from like a spirit tree or some shit, and then he remembers him like fishing with Neteum when he was young, and it's like, "I know what I have to do. This is my home. I will protect my family." And then it ends the exact same way as the first movie, and then they played the Weeknd song, and then like everyone in my group started laughing because it was the Weeknd. Balls hurt. God damn, that hurts. So during the credits, when the Weeknd song was still playing, I got up ready to leave. And one of my friends looked me in the eyes, and he's like, "James, do you remember anyone's name from the movie? Other than Jake Sully?" I was like, Spider. I was like, anyone that wasn't a human. I drew a blank. I only remembered Neytiri from the first movie. That's because I watched the first movie like less than 3 hours before watching the second movie. I'll tell you, looking at CGI blue people for 5 hours in total, it gets so fucking boring. So, now that I've talked about what actually happens in the movie sort of a little bit, there was a lot that happened and also nothing. I'm just gonna go over the things that I liked and the things that I didn't like. I thought the performances were decent. I liked the relationship between Jake's family. I loved the action, I will say that. There were some scenes that were actually pretty hype. I don't know how to describe it. I liked the idea that they actually change skin tone between areas because, you know, that's how it is in real life. People in, let's say, Morocco look different than people from Britain. People had, you know, more curly hair. People had larger, like, arms that had fins on them so that they could swim more efficiently. You know, people had lighter skin, different spacing eyes, different noses even. I liked that. I like the big-ass whaling ship that they have in the movie. I like how the submarine and crab mech suit things are literally just the Cyclops and the Seamoth from Subnautica. I liked how they portrayed the islander culture. People in the forest are supposed to be like Africans, like even the beads and like dreadlocks in their hair. But when you move over to the islands, it's much more like Pacific Islander type, like all the tattoos and the water religions, and even the connection to the whales. I thought that was super cool. In okay, another fucking sci-fi series, Star Wars. In Star Wars, every planet has one language, one species. They have one unified religion, one like economy. It's kind of dumb because if you look here on Earth, we have such a diverse amount of regions and climates and people and languages. Like, if you live on Earth, there's easily like over 100 languages spoken by people that we don't know. I actually liked what they did with the bad guy. I don't like that they brought him back, or that they even like cloned him and turned him into an avatar. What I like, and I know this is gonna sound really stupid, when they cloned him, in the first movie when he was a human, he had like 3 huge ass scars that dug like literally bone deep into the right side of his face. His avatar doesn't have that because of course it wouldn't. It's a clone. It wouldn't carry over any like physical deformities caused by anything after his birth. Things I didn't like. I didn't like that humans came back. That just means the entire first movie kind of means nothing. All their sacrifices mean nothing. I didn't like how much of a dipshit Loak was. I get that he's the younger brother, so it's kind of like what he does, but still kind of dumb. I didn't like that they brought back Colonel Miles Quaritch. I liked him in the first movie, just because, you know, he's a funny army guy, and he's a funny dude. In the second movie, it's just... okay. I didn't like Kiri. Kiri is the mystery child of, I don't even remember her name. Sigourney Weaver in the first movie, whoever she played. She's the mystery child of Grace's avatar. And for some reason, she's super connected to Eywa. Eywa is like their god. So, like, she can, like, fuck with certain things, and they, like, do what she wants. When she plugs into something with her tail hair shit, like, she can control it. And she connected to this one tree, and then she got a seizure because she was too close to Eywa or some shit. I don't even know. I do have a theory about her that I'll talk about later. You know what? I'm just gonna talk about that theory now. I have a theory that when Grace died in the first movie, she partially connected to the, like, the spirit tree. So, like, that connected her partially to Eywa. When Kiri was mysteriously concepted into her womb, that little piece of her that became part of Eywa went through the avatar and then was transferred onto Kiri. And that's why Kiri can control certain things, because she's part god, basically. It sounds dumb, but that's the best logic that I could apply to this movie.
I didn't like that the first hour and the last hour were basically just the first movie again. It kind of sucked.
It's basically the same as the first movie, but in water. That's the only difference. I can't even say that I liked the final fight. It was kind of like bland. And it wasn't even like the end. It's just postponed because we already know that Colonel Miles Quaritch is gonna come back for Avatar 3, and then 4, and then 5. I don't even fucking...
I don't know what else to talk about with this movie. This movie left me like dumbfounded. I liked
the movie. I remember liking it. I just don't remember why I liked it. I don't know what else to say about this movie. It exists. It finally came out after 13 years. I remember James Cameron talking about how he had enough potential for like 8 Avatar movies back in like 2015. Dog. The movie wasn't that great. It was a good one-off movie. Could have left it there, done. But no, he decided to make another one because his ego is so fucking massive. Now you can credit James Cameron with a lot. He made Terminator, he made Aliens, he made Titanic. Aliens and Terminator, some of my favorite movies of all time. You can't take that away from James Cameron. Titanic, highest grossing movie of all time until Avatar. So yeah, the man has made some good movies, but that seemed to have went to his head when he was making Avatar 2. Because he was talking about like, oh, you cannot miss a single minute of Avatar 2. Because in those 3 hours, every single minute moves the plot. No, the fuck it doesn't. No, it does not. Don't listen to James Cameron.
Too bad it lost like $1 billion because James Cameron said apparently they needed to make $2 billion to make even, and they only made, I think, 900 million worldwide.
That's Avatar 2. I'm fucking done with this movie. It was dumb as shit. I didn't understand what was going on half the time, even though it's the most straightforward plot ever, because it's the first movie again! I just wanted one more video to, round out the year with a total of... Let's see, we had... the Resident Evil video. We had the Volatile video. We had the funny video that I uploaded from, like, a year ago. And now this movie. 4 uploads in 2022, baby! Woo!
I'm gonna go back to watching Rick and Morty and playing Minecraft now. Subscribe if you want to. Thank you for watching, by the way. I appreciate it. Yeah.